Yo, what's up guys? So first of all, 3,000 subs. That's fucking crazy. So thank you guys for being awesome. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. In this video, I'm going to do a part 3 of my top 5 unique card controls. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, I'll leave the links down below in the description. Let's get into it. Alright, so this first one, let's say we have a spectator select a card, so they say stop, right around there, remember that card, and it gets lost back in the middle of the deck, right around there, okay? So we have a second spectator say stop somewhere, right around there, remember that card, and it gets lost back somewhere in the middle of the deck, but all the while, both of those cards are controlled to the top. Alright, so for this, the second selection can actually be a force card if you want it to be, alright? So the top card will be a force card, the Ace of Spades, alright? So what you do is you riffle down the deck and have a spectator say stop, as if you're doing a riffle force, but this is a free choice, alright? So there's no force for this one. They say stop anywhere, lift up the pack like this, show them the card, the Four of Hearts. Now what you do here is you slip cut the top card on top of that section like this, in the action of cutting the deck, alright? So this is exposed view, do a slip cut like this, but in jog it like this, but keep cutting packets on top, so you keep that in jog, right, like this. Now what you do is you push down on the in jog with the thumb like this, so you get a break above it with your pinky. Now what you do is you just riffle force, so turn the other spectator, say stop, and just do the riffle force, alright? So lift up at the break, show them the card, and then do the same thing, do the in jog with the slip cut and keep cutting off. Now at this point, you push up on the in jog like this to get a break above those cards. You can double cut those cards at the table, and now both cards are on top of the deck. So for this one, let's have a spectator pick a card. Maybe they touch this one right here. They remember it. Target gets lost back somewhere in the middle of the deck, just like this. And we can give it a cut. And you know, we can even give it a shuffle as well. You know what? We'll give it one more shuffle just for good measure, all right? And no breaks are held, and I have no in jogs. So we square the deck up. And even though I did all that, that card is controlled to the top. So this is a fun one to do. It's by Marlo. It's called Jog Shuffle Fake Out, and it's meant to fool magicians. But I mean, your actions, they can also fool laymen, but it's meant to fool a magician. So initially, you want to have a card picked at control to the bottom, but you want to do it in a way that seems kind of obvious for a magician, right? So here's what you can do. You can dribble the deck, and they say stop, and you show them the card like this, right? And then you come back, push the card back square, and just keep a break below it and put the rest of the cards back on top and just cut the deck. So any magician who sees this, they'll know it's on the bottom. So what you can do is pick up the deck and shuffle it in a way that they might think you are shuffling to the top, right? So what you really do though is do a slip shuffle. So keep it on the bottom, doing the slip, and then shuffle off. Now once you get to the last of the cards, just slow down and try to make it obvious that you want to make it to the top with just that single card, right? So now they're thinking, oh yeah, now the card's on top with that shuffle. But now you're going to fake them out again with another shuffle, a jog shuffle. So start a real shuffle without a slip this time. So undercut half, do a painfully obvious jog, more than you normally would, like this, and then shuffle off. Now really this time, shuffle it to the top of the deck like this. So I'm not keeping any breaks, there's no in jogs like this, and just put the deck on the table like sideways. So now they're thinking, yeah, I got this guy caught. I know what's happening. But so now you're gonna fake him out, but just by squaring the deck up, pushing the in jog in, and just dribbling the deck like this. And when they see the cards on top, they're just lost. All right, so for this, let's see, we have a spectator, and they said stop as we dribble the card, right? So stop right there. Remember that card. All right, gets lost back somewhere in the middle of the deck, right around here, like this. All right, gets squared up, no breaks, no in jogs, but that card is on top. All right, so this is called a cut above by Steve Bean from Semi-Automatic Card Tricks. All right, so here's what happens. So you have a spectator say stop as you dribble, and once you do, you just show them the face card. Now it's going to seem like you just take the card off and put it in the middle, and that looks great, and you're going to mimic that by doing sort of a side jog. All right, so once you show them the card and you come back, what you're going to do is take these fingers and contact that card, and then sort of side jog it as you move the card, the packet to square like this. So in an exposed view, this was happening like this. So that's side jogged, and the deck is almost square. So at this point, what you do is you take your fingers and just pop that card on top of the lower packet like this, and then immediately move back over here and drag that card off, and next card, put it on top of the lower packet and slap the rest back on top, and their card is on top. So what I do sometimes is combine this control with a force by J.K. Hartman, all right? So the force card is on top, and this is what it looks like. So you start cutting packets, and you ask the spectator to stop you at any time as you cut packets. And once they do, maybe right here, the card is forced. So here's how the force is done, right? Top card, ace of clubs, our force card. So what you're gonna do is cut a packet, maybe a fourth of the deck, all right, and put it in your hand in dealing grip. And then what you're gonna do is gesture with your hands and say, anytime I cut packets, just say stop anytime. And in that motion, push over the top card and get a break below it. So keep cutting packets, small packets on top of this packet here, maintaining that break, all right? So once they say stop, maybe right here, immediately lift all the cards above the break like this and show them the card. All right, so here's how that force and the control would look combined together. So our force card is the 5 of diamonds. All right, so as I cut packets like this, just say stop anytime you want to, all right? Stop right here. Remember that card, I won't look. It gets lost back somewhere in the middle of the deck. And you know what? I'll put it even deeper so I can't possibly get to it if I wanted to, all right? So with a snap, that card is on top of the deck. All right, so for this one, a spectator selects a card, and usually I can kind of estimate how far down the card is. We have the 5 of spades here. Let's see, that card is about, you know, it's exactly 26 from the top. So let's put it deeper this time. Maybe, I'd say that's about 46. So you know what? From 46 all the way down to 1, your card is on top of the deck. All right, so this one is called For the Unambitious by Ed Marlo. Here's how it's done. So it's kind of like the tip over change by Jack Merlin. All right, so this is how you do it. So card is selected and fairly put into the middle out jog like this. Now what you're gonna do is behind the scenes, you're gonna say, I can usually tell or estimate how many cards down your card is by just riffling like this. And this is your excuse to riffle. All right, so you just riffle down until you get to their card, but stop when there's only one card above it, and you'll be able to see it really easily, right? So at that point, lift up all the cards above that gap so they can't see that. Keep it tilted. All right, so yep, that's about exactly 26. Now at this point, what you're gonna do is just push that in like this, and then turn your wrist over, push that card over immediately, and then put it deeper this time. So this time, I'd say that's about 46. Your card goes in from 46 down all the way to 1. Your card is on top of the deck. So for this one, a spectator can take the deck and shuffle if they want to, and then they table it, and they give you about half the deck, all right? And then you show them the card that they cut to, and then you instruct them to cut the deck in half, and then you do the same as well. And then you put some of your cards right there. They do the same. You put the rest of yours on top of everything, and sure enough, their card is actually on top of the deck. All right, so this one is called Losing Control by Steve Pressley from the Trapdoor books. All right, so what you're gonna do is hand them the deck and ask them to give you about half the cards. All right, so once they do, show them the card they cut to and turn it down and ask them to remember it. Turn it down, and once you do, get a break above the bottom card, their card, with your pinky like this. Now at this point, you ask them to cut the deck in half like this, and sort of like a demonstration, you do the same thing like this. So as they're cutting, you cut the deck as well. But what you're gonna do is when you cut, you just add that card on top of this lower packet like this. It just pops on like that. And then this is unseen because they're occupied, right? So they're cutting the deck. Now what you're gonna do is put the upper packet on there. You ask them to put these cards on top, and then you put yours on top of everything. And then even though that looks so convincing and fair, the card is on top. So again, you can combine this with a force if you wanted to, using the same actions. All right, so the only difference is you're going to cull a card. So the force card is 4 from the top. Our force card is the 8 of spades. All right, so table the deck, ask them to cut about half, and once they do, you say, You could have cut anywhere, and as you're doing this, you just cold the fourth card like this, so that just gets cold under the spread. You say you could have cut anywhere, but you cut to this card. So at this point, everything is the same. You get your break. They cut the deck in half. You do the demonstration cut. You put this there. They put that there. You put that there. The force card is controlled to the top. What a banger. Alright guys, so I hope you learned something new from this video, and until next time, happy practicing. I love you guys.